You've felt it before. That thing that makes you check your phone every 30 seconds. That thing that makes you stay up until 3 a.m. talking to someone you just met. That thing that makes otherwise intelligent people do genuinely stupid things. We call it love. We write songs about it, we make movies about it, we build our entire lives around finding it. But here's what nobody tells you. The version of love you're looking for? It's approximately 10,000 years old, and the human species is 300,000 years old. So what were we doing for the other 290,000 years? Let's go back. Way back. 300,000 years ago, a small group of humans is sitting around a fire somewhere in what is now Africa. They number maybe 20 or 30 people. Everyone knows everyone. There are no strangers. In this world, love doesn't look the way you think it does. There is no dating. There is no marriage. There are no romantic dinners or flowers or promises of forever. What there is attachment. Anthropologists who study modern hunter-gatherer groups, the closest living relatives to our ancient ancestors, have found something fascinating. Pair bonding in these groups is real. It exists. Two people genuinely prefer each other. They share food, they protect each other, they raise children together, but it's nothing like what you see in movies. The average relationship in a hunter-gatherer group lasts somewhere between 2 and 4 years, long enough to have a child and get that child through the most dangerous early years. Then often they move on. Anthropologist Helen Fisher spent 30 years studying love across 170 different cultures. She found the same pattern everywhere. The intense phase, what we call falling in love, lasts on average between 18 months and 3 years. After that, the brain literally changes. The chemicals shift, the obsession fades, and for most of human history, that was completely normal. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Love, in its original form, was not about romance. It was about survival. Your brain on love looks almost identical to your brain on cocaine. In 2005, neuroscientist Helen Fisher put people who had just fallen in love into an MRI scanner. What she found shocked her. The reward centers of the brain, the same areas that light up during drug addiction, were on fire. Dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin. Your brain treats the person you love like a drug. It craves them, it panics without them, it does whatever it takes to get more of them, and here's why. For a species that gives birth to completely helpless babies, babies that need years of care before they can survive on their own, having two adults obsessively focused on each other and their offspring wasn't romantic. It was a reproductive strategy. Love was an evolutionary trick. A trick to keep two people together just long enough to give their child a fighting chance. That flutter in your chest, that's 300,000 years of survival programming activating. That feeling that you can't imagine life without them, that's your ancient brain making sure you don't abandon your offspring in the savannah. So what changed? About 10,000 years ago, humans discovered agriculture, and agriculture changed everything. Before farming, you couldn't own land. You moved. The idea of territory belonging to one person didn't really exist. But once you started farming, suddenly you had something worth owning. Fields, livestock, stored grain, a house. And here's the problem. If you have property, you need an heir. And if you need an heir, you need to know that your children are actually yours. This is the moment when love became complicated. Because for the first time in human history, men needed to control women's reproduction. Not out of cruelty, out of economics. Marriage wasn't invented for love. Marriage was invented for property. The word marriage comes from the Latin maritare, to provide with a husband. The word matrimony comes from mater, mother, as in the legal establishment of who the mother is, and therefore who the heirs are. For most of recorded history, marriage was a business contract between families. Love was considered irrelevant. In ancient Rome, marrying for love was considered embarrassing. In medieval Europe, it was considered dangerous. The idea that you should marry the person you love, that radical idea, only became mainstream in the Western world in the late 1700s, less than 300 years ago. And even then, it took another 200 years before women could legally refuse a husband. In the United States, marital rape was not illegal in all 50 states until 1993. So where does that leave us? We are a species with 300,000 years of survival wiring in our brains, trying to navigate a social system that was invented 10,000 years ago for economic reasons, using romantic ideals that are less than 300 years old. No wonder it's complicated. Here's what the science actually says about long-term love. The intense early phase, the cocaine phase, always ends. Always. Usually within 2 to 3 years. This is not a failure. This is biology doing exactly what it was designed to do. But then something else can take its place. Neuroscientists call it companionate love. It looks different. It feels different. It's quieter, less dramatic, less like a movie. But here's the interesting part. In 2011, researchers at Stony Brook University scanned the brains of couples who had been together for an average of 21 years and still described themselves as intensely in love. What they found surprised everyone. These couples showed activity in the same reward centers as new lovers, but they also showed activity in areas associated with calm, with pain suppression, and with long-term bonding. Their brains weren't just addicted to each other. Their brains had integrated each other. The other person had become part of their own neural architecture. They weren't just in love with each other. They had literally become part of each other's brain. Ancient humans fell in love for survival. Then we turned it into property. Then we turned it into romance. And now we're confused about why it's so hard. But here's the thing nobody tells you. That feeling you get when you find the right person, that sense that something fundamental has shifted, that's not a modern invention. That's not something Hollywood made up. That's 300,000 years old. Your ancient brain, the same brain that kept your ancestors alive on the African savanna, is still running, still searching, still doing exactly what it was built to do. The only difference is that now, for the first time in human history, you actually get to choose.